Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. I am joined, as always, by the mistress of Mandalore herself, Miss Lisa Locke McGahee. Lisa, say hi to all the lovely people out there.
Hello.
Alright guys, well, we are still drudging through Comic-Con news. A couple days ago we talked about the Marvel stuff. We're going to skip over the DC stuff. We'll talk about that later. And then we're going to go straight to some miscellaneous because there's one little subject that Lisa has been dying to talk about for the last couple days. So I figured I wouldn't make her wait any longer. Now the good thing is the fact that we had so much stuff come out at Comic-Con, like the week after or the couple days after here, there's like a dull. So like
you mean a lull?
Lull. Yes, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. I just messed up one letter. Come on now. Anyway, but yeah, so we can take our time with this stuff, let it soak in, let it simmer, and give some good in-depth conversations about some stuff. But with that being said, you ready to go for it?
Yep.
Alright guys, so the Warner Brothers panel on Saturday in Hall H, they had quite a few things to show us, and one of the things they showed us was the first trailer for Steven Spielberg's new movie, Ready Player One. Now, this is based off the, I guess you call it, popular novel now, by Ernest Cline, who is also writing the screenplay. And it takes place in the near future and follows an outcast teenager by the name of Wade Watts, played by X-Men Apocalypse's Ty Sheridan, or I'll just call him Cyclops, as we will, who escapes from his bleak surroundings by logging into the Oasis, a globally networked virtual utopia where users can lead alternate lives. When the eccentric billionaire who created the Oasis dies, he offers up his vast fortune as the prize in an elaborate treasure hunt. Along with gamers from around the world, Wade joins the adventure and quickly finds himself pitted against powerful corporate foes and other ruthless competitors who will do anything in the Oasis or the real world to reach the treasure first. The movie is set to come out March 3rd, 2018. Now, Lisa, you are in the middle of listening to the audiobook for the second time.
Third time, actually.
Third time. Okay, well, there we go.
I really like this book.
Okay, so obviously she has more to say about this. I'm just going to shut my mouth and take it away, Lisa.
Well, I mean, the trailer itself I thought was good. What I didn't know that I learned from the trailer is that Ernest Cline is actually co-writing the screenplay. So that gives me, I feel a little bit better about that because, he's the author of this story. So I feel like him having a part in the screenplay makes me feel like it might have a little bit better attention to the story, like to the actual story, not detour off too much. Or if they have to detour, it would at least stay true to what's important in the story.
Yeah, he'll probably try to fight for the stuff that he thinks is important, I'm sure.
Right. So I like that. That was, I think, for me, that was the biggest takeaway from the trailer. The things that overall, I'm excited for this film. I thought the trailer was good. There are several things about the trailer that kind of worry me a little bit.
Okay, such as?
Number one, there's kind of a big hulking character they show several times in the trailer. It looks kind of like a big bald wrestler type alienish.
So I think that character's from like another, like Gears of War, I think that guy's from, I believe.
I don't know.
It's a video game.
Right, but there shouldn't be any characters in this film that are from a video game.
Okay.
For them to show that character so prominently twice in the trailer makes me feel like it's an important character, and I'm having a hard time figuring out what important character it is because all of the actual main characters in the film, they don't show any of them in the trailer that I can tell except for Wade in the real world. They don't show his Oasis avatar. I mean, they show him from a distance.
Okay.
There's like a scene. There's like one scene in it where they show him with the robot from Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant. Yes. They show that's him. That's his avatar.
Is he riding the light cycle in the race?
I'm not sure because that's another thing that's the other thing about the trailer that worries me is like that super action chase fights like there.
So that wasn't in the book.
Not that I don't remember there being.
You've listened to it twice now. You don't remember if it is?
I know that there's some battles in the book. The battles that take place in the book though mostly take place kind of in space-ish of the Oasis, and most of the battles too that I'm thinking of, it's them fighting the Sixers who are all those people with the IOI that are all doing the exact same thing.
Like the robot people?
Yeah, they're not robots. They're avatars. They're the Sixers. Their avatars look all the same because that's what they're supposed to in the book. But they call them the Sixers in the book. But there are several battles with the Sixers. But none of them. I don't know. It just I'm a little worried that they're gonna try to make the movie too actiony.
Yeah, I mean you do have that with from book to movie adaptation.
Yeah, I know that there's gonna have to be. The scenes in the book that are the fight scenes are just kind of said. Oh, and there was a fight scene.
Okay.
There isn't a lot of detail in the book for the fight scenes.
So maybe they're gonna go into it.
So
more.
they're probably gonna make the fight scenes more in depth than they are in the book. But so those are kind of the two main things that worried me about it right off the bat. I mean, and of course there's a couple other little things that's on the trailer that probably I feel like doesn't seem right, but maybe it's just because it's the trailer and so it's bits and pieces that are kind of mixed in.
Yeah, it's all editing and stuff like that.
So maybe it'll be right when it gets there. Like, I mean, right off the bat, I told you right off the bat, I was all like, he doesn't live in Columbus, so why they had to change that right thing right off the beginning doesn't make any sense to me.
Where does he live?
He lives in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
He moves to Columbus partway through, but when he lives in the stacks, he lives in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So like for that, I'm like right off the bat, why would you change that?
I don't know. I mean,
Columbus is an important city in the book. That's where the headquarters is of IOI and the headquarters of GSS. GSS is the company that makes the Oasis.
So instead of moving him halfway through the story, they probably just put him there.
But they move him partway through the story for a reason.
Okay.
Once you read the book, you'll realize why he moves. Anyway,
we don't know it's not in there though. We just from the trailer, again, editing and.
Except in the trailer, they said, "I live in the city, Oklahoma. I live in Columbus, Ohio. The fastest grade." That's literally how it starts.
He hasn't said, "I haven't lived there my whole life."
Except he's in the stacks when they show it.
Okay.
The stacks are not in Columbus.
Okay. Well, see, I didn't know that. There you
anyway,
go.
I'm digressing. Anyway,
okay. So I have a couple questions. All right. So this Oasis, because I haven't read or listened to the book at all. Is it like it's a world already created, or can you create your own world?
Well, both.
Okay.
It's when it was developed, it started up as a world already created. It was kind of like it took like existing MMOs like that we know now, and it made basically a virtual reality interactive MMO. So when it was released, there were already a certain number of worlds there already. Some of them were new. Some of them were like existing things, like Star Wars. There was a Star Wars part of it where you could go be in Star Wars. There was like a lot of different, like you could, like in the book, some of the ships that he has when he's in the Oasis, he has like, his ship is a Firefly class. It's like Serenity. Yeah. So it's like things like that, like all these different things that exist in the Oasis. So when you're in it, but what makes it different than regular virtual reality is the way that map, the thing that they put on, it literally interacts like with your retina. So you are like literally, you feel like you're there. And the gloves that you wear make it where you can actually feel and touch what's in there. So in the Oasis, if you touch something, you physically feel like you're grabbing something. So it's a fully immersive like experience. Like because of the way that the goggles that they use and the gloves that they wear. And then if you really have a lot of money, then you can have a full setup, like where you're literally in a chair with a full outfit. The cheaper things, like he has, is just the mask and the gloves. Yeah. Because he only has it because he goes to school in the Oasis. Yeah. So he gets it for that reason. Okay. But if you have a lot of money, you can literally have like a full body setup to where you are. But once you have money, then you can like write, like if you're a programmer, you could create your own things inside of the Oasis. Okay, we're going a little too much detail. Well, you asked me. I did. I just want trying to understand it a little bit because it looked like there were several worlds, like there were battles, and then there was the race cars, and then there was like several things. So I was curious, if it's all together. No, there's 27 different like zones. Okay, zones. And each zone in it could have hundreds of different planets. Okay, but then a programmer could go and make another zone, perhaps, right? No, you can't make a new zone. What zones you could like make like a planet, or you could take a planet that's already there and make it into what you want. Okay. Like you could take a planet and program make it something else. Okay. All right. Cool. So the trailer itself, I thought it looked interesting. I wasn't totally sucked in though, to be honest. I don't know. I guess, of course, I'll go see it because I know you're going to go see it. And it's Steven Spielberg, so... You should read the book. Well, yeah, read the book. It's really good. And the Audible is read by Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. I'm just telling you.
Wheaton. All right. Well, we'll check it out. Let us know what you thought, guys. Hit us up, Facebook group, of course, on Twitter, and, of course, dayspringnewscousins@gmail.com. Moving on. The next one we're talking about is CBS revealed Star Trek Discovery, a new trailer. This new series follows the voyages of Starfleet on their missions to discover new worlds and new life forms, and one Starfleet officer who must learn that to truly understand all things alien, you must first understand yourself. The new Star Trek series comes out September 24th on CBS, and then all subsequent episodes will be shown on the CBS All Access streaming service. So you're going to have to purchase that, I guess, if you want to buy it as well. But I think there's something in here about how Netflix is going to show them too. Says the series will be distributed concurrently by CBS Studios International on Netflix in 188 countries, and in Canada on Bell Media Space Channel and OTT service Crave TV. So is it going to be on Netflix too?
I don't know.
I don't know what exactly that says, but anyway, this was the second trailer that we've seen for it. Gave a little more in-depth into our main character. Lisa, what'd you think?
Well, I mean, I
I know, of course, for me it's, they have to, I'm not a big Star Trek fan. I've enjoyed the current movies, so I've gotten into them because of the sense they've changed kind of the tone, made them more action-oriented.
I mean, it does look like they're doing that.
And that's what I think. Well. They have to make it different from previous Star Treks. I think if they really want to not only grasp people to watch, but get people to sign up for this all-access channel. Mm-hmm. They really have to, get something that's going to be good for the general audience if they want people to pay for this service.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it looked bad. It definitely has a good cast. I mean, I don't know who that main lady is, but
yeah.
I mean, Jason Isaacs. I mean, there's a lot of good actors in it. There's the other guy who plays like the Spock. I forget what the hell
I know
they're called.
Yeah.
He's I've seen him in many things
I think
too.
it's in Spock's dad.
I can't think of his name, but I've seen him in lots of things too. I mean, the cast looks pretty good. Yeah, and it does look like there's more action than previous Star Trek.
The Klingons are featured pretty heavily in it. Another thing, story-wise, it takes place many years before Kirk and Spock and all that.
It does?
So,
it's before?
Yeah, it's before that. So I'm curious, again, it's about beginnings of Starfleet and, how their first interactions with alien species such as the Klingons.
How do you know that's where it takes place?
Yeah, it's in other previous
Just in the blurbs
stuff. Yeah, in the other blurbs I've read,
okay.
it said, it takes place like a generation or two beforehand. Like the Vulcan is Spock's dad. Oh. So it's like a younger version of Spock's dad, obviously. Mm-hmm. Obviously, yes. But yeah, I mean, I think I'll definitely want to check it out. I don't think I'm going to sign up for the All Access channel.
We're not signing up.
There are other ways of watching that stuff, as some people know. But like I said, I think for it to succeed, it's got to, really grab the general audience with more action. And, maybe it'll succeed. I hope it was. I hope it the best because, like I said, I've enjoyed the current run of Star Trek movies. And we'll just see how it goes. So, all right. Speaking of streaming services, also at San Diego Comic-Con, Netflix released a trailer for their upcoming movie Bright. Now, this one is a drama in a fantasy world where humans coexist with creatures such as orcs, elves, and fairies. It's going to be directed by David Ayer, the guy who directed End of Watch, Suicide Squad, and Fury. The movie apparently cost about $100 million, which is a pretty big budget for a streaming service movie. Now, the plot of it is that Will Smith plays a human cop in Los Angeles forced to team up with an orc played by Joel Edgerton, the first of his kind to join the force and who's seen as a diversity hire. The trailer kind of reveals the racial tensions of all the species in the city, and then Smith and his partner encounter someone who seems to have a magic wand, or as they called it, quote, a nuclear weapon that grants wishes. Bright is going to be available on December 22nd on Netflix. Lisa, what do you think about this film?
I thought the trailer looked really good. I want to watch this. I think it looks neat. I mean, I think I wouldn't necessarily call it a fantasy world. I think it's a fantasy that takes place in the real world.
Well, yeah, I think it's like, a lot of these, like, when you have orcs, fairies, whatever. You get like a Lord of the Rings, like medieval style.
Right, but
this
it's
is
in the
modern world.
Right, exactly. It's like fantasy characters, but in the real world.
Yeah, like how they would interact with people. Much like how like a lot of like the superhero movies nowadays are trying to see how would superheroes actually appear in the real world. This is what would happen if elves and orcs actually existed in our current society.
Right, and they coexisted with humans. Exactly. So I mean, I thought it looked really interesting. I mean, I think it looks like it looks like there's good action. You could tell that there's a big budget.
Yeah.
It looked well done.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, honestly, David Ayer, I was so excited for Suicide Squad because I liked End of Watch, I liked Fury. With that film too, apparently from all the reports and stuff, the film kind of got away from him. With the studio, so I still have faith in him, and it looks like he's telling quite the story here. Plus the two main leads. I didn't even know that was Joel Edgerton in the orc.
Oh, I know. Until you see the name come up on the thing, you have no idea.
Exactly. So you have Joel Edgerton, who's a good actor, and also Will Smith, who is a good actor. People are Will Smith haters.
I mean, he does bad movies sometimes, but he's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's been, he's an Oscar. Nominee, so definitely I still have faith in him. I still think he's a great actor. So these two great actors leading this film, I think it has a good shot with a good director. Mm-hmm. The budget obviously, is good. I'm just curious, $100 million, like I said, that's more than most theatrical films get, and people are just like, there was a quote last week where Christopher Nolan is pretty much criticizing Netflix for releasing these films such as this, like a bigger budget, just to Netflix, where say Amazon Studios will go and release their film out in theaters and then a couple weeks later put it on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the difference between the two and how he feels like it hurts the industry, blah, blah, blah. And that's Christopher Nolan's take on all that. So just so you know. But the film itself, it looks interesting.
I mean, this is the first one Netflix done of this caliber, right? Which is kind of so.
Like I said, I think it's kind of an again. Like I said, the reason it's so heavily featured because the fact that it is $100 million. Because they have other films. There was that one Brad Pitt movie, War Machine, that came out where people kind of started getting the attention of, hey, Brad Pitt's, a major Hollywood star. He's doing a Netflix movie or whatever. And, it kind of got people's attention. I heard the movie isn't that good, actually. But this one, I think if it does, well, again, could change some heads. You got Scorsese's film coming out with De Niro and Pacino going straight to Netflix, The Irishman. They're making that as well. So I think, again, it looks good. I hope it's, could be a little bit of a game changer as far as...
Well, it's certainly changing the face of what a made-for-TV movie is.
Well, that's true.
I mean, it's not like a Hallmark movie anymore, which is what you get when you talk about a made-for-TV movie.
Well, this movie may help the streaming service brand. Other movies, such like Adam Sandler does, is definitely hurting it. But even like, TV series, like, the Daredevils and, all those other streaming services as well. Those are definitely, stepping up a notch, and people are enjoying those just as much as anything, if not more, that we're seeing on ABC and Fox and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. So our last trailer we're going to talk about today is going to be the sequel to the Kingsman. It's Kingsman, what is it? I just lost it. Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Hey, I found it there. Alright, so in this one, Taron Egerton returns as Eggsy, as well as Mark Strong is back as Merlin, and they're joining forces with the Kingsman counterpart, the Statesman. The official synopsis: when their headquarters are destroyed and the world is held hostage, their journey leads them to the discovery of an allied spy organization in the U.S. called Statesman, dating back to the day they were both founded. Matthew Vaughn is back in the directing chair for this one, and you've got, like I said, Taron Egerton and Mark Strong coming back, as well as Colin Firth, and they're going to be joined by newcomers Julianne Moore, Halle Berry, Elton John, Channing Tatum, and Jeff Bridges. The film comes out September 22nd. So this is the second trailer we've gotten for the Kingsman sequel. Lisa, I know you weren't completely thrilled with the first trailer. How do you feel after the second?
I mean, I like it all right. I think it makes... I like this trailer better. I mean, I think it explained a little bit more. The first trailer, I was a little confused, I think. This one, I think it makes it a little more clear that the Kingsmen and the Statesmen are going to be allies. Uh-huh. The first one made it look more like they were going to be, like, antagonizing each other. Or this one, it made it look more like they were going to be working together. I think it made it a little clearer who the bad guys are. Like in the first one, I was so confused. You know, with this one, you can see it looks like Julianne Moore is the bad guy. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it looks interesting.
And one thing that was interesting, I found interesting too, is the fact that when they were naming off, you know, the actors and actresses, Taron Egerton, the main character, got third billing still. You had Colin Firth, Julianne Moore, then Taron Egerton.
It's Edgerton.
Edgerton?
There's not a D at the B.
It's where it is?
It's Edgerton.
Egerton. What did I say?
Edgerton.
Edgerton?
Edgerton.
Okay, whatever. Egerton. That's how I'm going to say it. No?
No.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, keep going. Okay, yeah, so anyway, I went back and rewatched the original film a month or two ago, and I wasn't thrilled with it the first time I watched it in theaters, but after the second viewing, I actually liked it more and got me a little more excited. Especially with this one, I think what's getting me most excited is seeing the American version of, you know, the Kingsman, the Statesman. I guess they're doing a promotion as well where, you know, they're actually coming out with Statesman bourbon to go with the film as well. And then you have all of them just as, like, you know, cowboys. We talked about this where, you know, the Kingsmen are kind of the stereotype of the Englishmen, where they're playing in the stereotype of the Americans with the cowboys and the skipping rope, as they call it. And then, of course, the line at the end there where Taron Egerton's like, fuck yeah.
He doesn't say that. Channing Tatum does.
Channing Tatum, sorry, what did I say?
You said Taron Egerton.
Okay, well, Channing Tatum says it, yes. But, you know, yeah. But anyway, I think it looks interesting. I'm still curious how they're going to explain Colin Firth's return.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, he got shot in the eye. He has the eye patch. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how they pulled that off.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too, because the first one was based off the graphic novel by, what is his name? Mark Millar. And this one is completely new. They don't have, like, a sequel to the book. So this is completely original as far as that goes. But yeah, I'm interested in it. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Comes out September 22nd.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I really like Taron Egerton. I think he's a really good actor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially, like I said, we talked about it. Eddie the Eagle was a great film.
I was so impressed with his performance in that film.
Yeah, he's definitely a rising star. I think we're going to see a lot of him.
And once we saw how he can sing and sing, too.
He was singing, yes.
He's like Nora's favorite character in that movie. I didn't know he could sing, too. He's good.
Yes, actually, that's true. He is my, still my ringtone for my phone with him singing, I'm still standing.
Nora loves that song.
Yes, yeah. So that's coming to Netflix in a couple days too. That movie too. So, but she is on Blu-ray. So
and really she has all the songs on her
exactly.
iPod, so she's fine.
Yes, today too in the car she was belting out something and literally just screaming at the top of her lungs. I was like, calm down. Like my ears were hurting because she was screaming these songs. I couldn't stand it. But
people are going to be talking about her on their podcast one day.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly. The great performer, Miss Nora McGahee.
Yep, everyone remember that name.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that is it for us today. Now it's your time to tell us what you think. Hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com, the Facebook group, Twitter. You can find me personally on Twitter and Instagram, SlimDayspring12. Let us know what you think of the Kingsman trailer. Are you excited for Bright? And, of course, Star Trek and Ready Player One. Well, in a couple days, hopefully we'll be able to get to the rest of this and finish off with some DC news. We'll see. Do you work the next couple days?
I work Thursday, Friday, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do, guys. Maybe Saturday morning. We'll try to finish something off, get it to before the week's over, and wrap up all the Comic-Con news. Now, it is Wednesday, which means, of course, new comics came out. Usually I spend my Wednesday nights ruffling through all the new comics and kind of picking my favorites, and I usually post them on Facebook and Twitter on the site. I'm going to do something a little different. Instead, I'm just going to pick one, and then I'm going to write a short little blog about it. So be on the lookout for that today or probably tomorrow, more than likely, since I have the day off tomorrow. But that's going to be it, guys. You want to say anything else before we leave?
I would like to recommend everybody read.
Okay, people, let's all appease Lisa.
It's so good.
Ready Player One. Read it, listen to it, because it's got read by Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Now, fetch me Will Wheaton. All right, guys, that'll be it for us today. Until next time, may the Force be with us all.